The film opens in the stillness of early morning, when the world seems to pause and breathe. A soft, tender light of dawn spills across Washington, D.C., painting the horizon in delicate hues of rose, gold, and lavender that blend seamlessly into the lingering night sky. The Potomac River glimmers like liquid glass, reflecting the pastel tones above, as gentle ripples distort the mirrored monuments along its banks. Low mist curls along the water's edge, drifting lazily with the faintest touch of wind, creating a sense of ethereal calm and anticipation. A drone shot glides smoothly over the city, revealing the Lincoln Memorial in quiet grandeur, its marble columns glowing softly in the early light. The camera sweeps upward to the towering Washington Monument, its obelisk gleaming with a subtle golden sheen, standing as a sentinel over the awakening city. The reflecting pool stretches toward the Capitol, its glassy surface catching the light like a liquid mirror. And as the camera moves closer, the Capitol dome glows in pale gold, casting its serene presence across the mall. The soundscape is gentle, yet alive. The faint trill of birdsong, the whisper of a morning breeze through trees, and the subtle rhythm of early footsteps echoing across the quiet pathways, suggesting that the city itself is slowly stirring to life. The camera's focus gradually shifts toward the Smithsonian Castle, rising from the mall like a vision from history. Its red sandstone towers pierce the morning haze, bathed in soft golden light, every arch and turret meticulously illuminated. In the Enid Ahopta Garden, fountains shimmer as the first rays of sun catch the cascading water, and cherry blossom trees sway gracefully, scattering delicate petals across cobblestone paths. Each petal seems to float in slow motion, adding a sense of magic and reverence to the scene. Sunlight continues to deepen, highlighting the architectural beauty of the castle, the intricate carvings, pointed arches, and elegant turrets all glowing as though alive. The scene conveys a dual sense of grandeur and intimacy, the immensity of the city and its monuments, yet the personal, human scale of curiosity and learning that the Smithsonian represents. Every frame is carefully composed to evoke awe and serenity, capturing the awakening of knowledge, art, and history in a single, quiet moment. The entire sequence radiates a sense of quiet majesty, the calm before the city fully awakens, a perfect, fragile moment where history, architecture, and nature converge. It is both an invitation and a promise that within this capital, and at the heart of it, the Smithsonian Castle stands as a guardian of discovery, ready to welcome visitors into a world of wonder and learning. The camera lingers on this view for several beats, allowing viewers to absorb the scale, beauty, and serenity, before slowly transitioning to the next chapter of the story, the birth of the Smithsonian Institution itself. As the soft morning light continues to bathe the National Mall, the focus shifts inward to the origins of the Smithsonian Institution. The camera glides through the quiet halls of the Smithsonian Castle, its red sandstone walls glowing warmly as sunlight filters through the Gothic windows. Here, the story of James Smithson, the English scientist and philanthropist whose vision sparked the creation of America's greatest museum complex, begins to unfold. Close-up shots reveal his handwritten will, the elegant ink strokes illuminated by a shaft of light, with the words for the increase and diffusion of knowledge among men glowing as if infused with destiny. Archival illustrations and 19th-century sketches come to life, horse-drawn carriages navigating the early streets of Washington, unfinished museum buildings rising from dusty foundations, and crates of minerals, fossils, and cultural artifacts being carefully unpacked by the first curators. The camera captures the meticulous work of these early scientists and scholars as they catalog, study, and preserve the treasures arriving from around the world, their candlelit workspaces reflecting dedication and awe. As the music swells gently, the scene emphasizes the humble beginnings of an institution that would grow into a national treasure. The camera pans across early exhibition halls, showing primitive display cases and dusty shelves, while a subtle golden haze suggests the timeless impact of Smithson's gift. Through careful framing and lighting, the visuals communicate that this moment, the creation of the Smithsonian, is not just a historical event, but a spark of curiosity and learning that continues to ripple through generations. As the morning progresses, sunlight floods the Smithsonian Castle, illuminating its Gothic arches, red sandstone walls, and intricate carvings. The camera glides slowly through the long corridors, capturing the timeless elegance of the interior. Portraits of early curators and founders line the walls, and antique maps and documents hint at the global reach of knowledge housed within these walls. Dust motes float lazily in the beams of light streaming through the stained glass windows, creating a serene, almost sacred atmosphere. The focus shifts to James Smithson's crypt, a simple yet reverent marble resting place, softly lit to honor the man whose vision made the Smithsonian possible. The camera lingers on the gentle details, fresh flowers, polished floors, and quiet shadows, evoking both gratitude and reflection. Moving through the castle, the audience glimpses early exhibition rooms filled with minerals, fossils, and cultural artifacts. Their carefully arranged displays a testament to the dedication of 19th-century curators. Archival photos and sepia-toned recreations appear, showing the castle in its early days, curators unpacking crates, cataloging specimens, and arranging displays by candlelight. These sequences are interwoven with modern visuals of the castle, emphasizing continuity between past and present. Outside, the castle gardens bloom, and fountains glimmer under the sunlight. Framing the building with life and color, the scene conveys the castle not merely as a building, but as the beating heart of the Smithsonian Institution, a place where the past and present meet, where knowledge is preserved and curiosity is nurtured. The camera slowly rises above the castle, its towers cutting through the morning haze, as the music swells to signify the enduring legacy of Smithson's vision. The sequence fades gracefully into the next chapter. The camera transitions from the castle across the National Mall to the grand facade of the National Museum of Natural History, bathed in soft midday light that highlights its neoclassical columns and expansive entrance. As the doors open, the audience is drawn into a cathedral of science, where time and nature converge. Inside, the rotunda dominates the space. The iconic African elephant, Henry, stands majestically beneath the soaring dome, its massive form illuminated by streams of sunlight filtering from above. The camera glides through the museum's vast halls, moving past towering dinosaur skeletons, the Hall of Gems and Minerals, where the legendary Hope Diamond sparkles under carefully directed light, and the Hall of Human Origins, where life-size reconstructions of early humans evoke the deep story of humankind. Each exhibit is framed to highlight its scale and significance, with visitors appearing small in comparison, emphasizing awe and wonder. Cutaways reveal scientists at work, dusting fossils, examining specimens under microscopes, and recording findings demonstrating that the museum is both a repository of knowledge and a living center of research. Macro shots of fossils and mineral textures reveal incredible detail, from the crystalline sparkle of gemstones to the intricate ridges on ancient bones. Music shifts to a subtle hum of engines, and a gentle rising orchestral tone as the camera glides upward from the National Mall to the Smithsonian National Air and Space Museum. The modern facade gleams under the midday sun, signaling a different kind of exploration, one that reaches beyond Earth. As the doors open, the audience is introduced to a world of human ingenuity and ambition, where the dreams of flight take tangible form. Inside, the camera floats past the Wright brothers' flyer, capturing the delicate wooden frame and fabric wings, bathed in soft, focused lighting that highlights its historic fragility. The lens then moves to Charles Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, its metallic surface reflecting the overhead lights, emphasizing both its sleek design and the monumental achievement it represents. Suspended above, the Apollo 11 command module hangs like a relic of human triumph, its metal exterior glowing faintly as if touched by starlight. The scene intercuts archival footage of astronauts on the moon, mission control celebrations, and rockets launching, seamlessly blending history with the museum's present-day displays. Macro shots reveal intricate control panels, flight instruments, and the texture of spacesuits, highlighting the intersection of human courage, innovation, and science. Visitors in the museum are shown interacting with exhibits, children pointing at airplanes, students observing simulations, and a family marveling at a scale model of the solar system, emphasizing the museum as a living classroom of imagination and exploration. The camera then slowly rises toward a skylight, where the vastness of space is hinted at through subtle visual effects of stars and galaxies beyond. The scene transitions with warm, soft light as the camera glides toward the National Museum of American History, its neoclassical facade gleaming under the afternoon sun. Inside, wide corridors and soaring ceilings set a tone of reverence and discovery. The camera moves first to the Star-Spangled Banner, displayed behind protective glass, its folds illuminated by subtle, focused lighting. Every thread and stain tells a story, evoking both patriotism and the passage of time. The journey continues through galleries that celebrate innovation and culture. Edison's early light bulbs glow faintly. Bell's first telephone rests on a polished stand, and vintage automobiles and locomotives showcase the evolution of American ingenuity. Close-up shots capture intricate details, the filament inside a bulb, the brass accents on a model train, the hand-stitched seams of historical garments emphasizing craftsmanship and human creativity. The narrative balances history with emotion. Visitors interact with exhibits, children reach toward artifacts with awe, students sketch and take notes, and families quietly reflect on the objects around them. The camera pans to culturally significant items like Dorothy's ruby slippers, their ruby red shine catching the light dramatically, and the Greensboro lunch counter, standing as a solemn reminder of courage and social change. The camera transitions smoothly from the historical artifacts of American life to the serene and luminous halls of the Smithsonian, American Art Museum, and the National Portrait Gallery. Housed within the neoclassical grandeur of the old Patent Office building, soft, golden afternoon light pours through tall skylights, casting geometric patterns on the polished marble floors and illuminating portraits, sculptures, and contemporary artworks. the camera glides slowly along the corridors, capturing the expressions of historical figures in oil paintings, George Washington, Frederick Douglass, and other notable Americans, each gaze conveying a story of leadership, struggle, and vision. The lens lingers on brushstrokes, textures, and details that reveal both the artist's hand and the emotions embedded in each piece. Sculptures of marble and bronze stand as silent witnesses to the nation's evolution, while modern installations of mixed media pulse subtly with light and movement, bridging past and present. Visitors move quietly through the galleries. A child traces the contours of a painting in fascination. A young artist sketches a sculpture. A couple reflects silently before a luminous canvas. Macro shots highlight details, the texture of oil on canvas, the gleam of metal, the play of shadow and light, emphasizing the craftsmanship and emotional resonance of each work. The camera rises above the National Mall as the sun begins to dip toward the horizon, casting a warm golden glow across Washington, D.C. The music expands into a sweeping orchestral score, signaling a shift from the museums themselves to the Smithsonian's broader reach. The narrative reveals that the Smithsonian is not confined to a single location. It is a network of 21 museums, 9 research centers, and the National Zoo. Extending across the country and around the globe, aerial shots glide over the Smithsonian Environmental Research Center in Maryland, where scientists wade through tidal marshes, monitoring bird migrations and recording water quality. The scene transitions seamlessly to the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute in Panama, with lush rainforest canopies bathed in dappled sunlight. Researchers move quietly through the dense foliage, documenting biodiversity, observing wildlife, and collecting samples with care. The camera then shifts to the Smithsonian Astrophysical Observatory in Arizona, where telescopes track distant galaxies under the dark star-filled sky. Long exposure shots show stars streaking across the heavens, while researchers study images of cosmic phenomena on glowing monitors. Interspersed throughout are intimate scenes of scientific discovery, a biologist releasing a tagged bird, marine researchers exploring coral reefs, and students observing live specimens. Twilight settles gently over the National Mall, and the camera glides back toward the heart of Washington, D.C., now bathed in the soft hues of evening. The music shifts to a hopeful, cinematic swell, blending strings and choir to evoke a sense of wonder. The Smithsonian museums glow warmly from within, inviting visitors into a world of curiosity, knowledge, and inspiration. Inside the halls, the camera captures moments of human engagement and awe. Children press their faces to glass cases, marveling at towering dinosaur skeletons and glittering gemstones. Families wander quietly through galleries, hand in hand, their footsteps echoing softly across polished floors. Students sketch intricate details of artifacts, while artists pause to study brushstrokes and textures in portraits and sculptures. Macro shots highlight the delicate craftsmanship of museum pieces, the fine veins in a minora, the stitching on historic garments, the smooth contours of ancient pottery. The camera pans to interactive exhibits, showing young visitors tracing rocket paths on touchscreen displays, examining moon rocks, and observing recreated historic scenes. A montage of faces, wide-eyed children, contemplative adults, fascinated teens emphasizes that the spirit of discovery transcends age, connecting generations through curiosity. Intercut with these intimate scenes are quiet, exterior shots, the Smithsonian Castle's towers piercing the evening mist, fountains shimmering under lamplight, and cherry blossoms gently swaying in the breeze. The cityscape beyond, including the Capitol Dome and Washington Monument, glows softly in twilight, grounding the Smithsonian within the living, breathing capital. Night descends over Washington, D.C., and the camera sweeps across the National Mall, now bathed in silver moonlight and soft urban glow. The fountains ripple gently, reflecting the lights of nearby monuments, while the distant Capitol Dome and Washington Monument stand as luminous sentinels over the city. The Smithsonian museums themselves are aglow. The castle's red sandstone towers radiate a warm amber light. The Air and Space Museum gleams with subtle reflections, and the Natural History Museum's dome shines like a beacon of knowledge. The camera transitions inside, moving through silent galleries that pulse with quiet reverence. The Hope Diamond sparkles faintly under protective lighting, its brilliance captured in extreme close-up. A spacesuit floats behind glass, hinting at humanity's ventures beyond Earth. Fossils, ancient artifacts, and cultural treasures stand patiently, illuminated by soft, cinematic lighting that evokes both wonder and reflection. Visitors are mostly absent, allowing the museum's living history to take center stage. Subtle sound design, the trickle of water, distant nightbirds, and soft ambient hums adds texture to the scene, creating a meditative, almost sacred atmosphere. Archival overlays show scientists, curators, and explorers who have contributed to the Smithsonian's legacy, connecting past, present, and future.